everyone, and welcome back to our CESI Talks. Today, we're very happy to have with us Policy Officer for the European Commission on Youth Employment, Mr. Pablo Cornide. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you, Sarah.
And as you all know, our CESI Talks are part of the project WEP, Workers and the European Parliament. And our objective is to bring to the attention of workers and citizens the activities and the actions taken by the European Parliament, especially in this moment in time where we need to get back on our feet after the pandemic. And as we all know, among the groups of people who have been strongly hit by the pandemic, it's young workers and young people. So we wanted to ask you, what have been the social impacts of the pandemic on young people in Europe?
Well, as far as the recent research is concerned, and we have seen some reports based on surveys by Eurofound, OECD, and other international European bodies, we can see that the pandemic has an impact on young people well-being, generally speaking. And when we talk about more concrete things, of course, it has been an interruption. It's meant an interruption in their social life, with some impacts on mental health. You couple that with, of course, some economic impacts, not only in unemployment terms, so also on social terms and housing problems that were there already. So, in a way, my message will be that the pandemic and the economic shock that it brought has just maybe exacerbated issues that were already present there, and some long-term trends. Be it problems like in work poverty, or just simply poverty, homelessness, lacks of gaps in social coverage, etc. That would be a more negative, from a negative point of view, problems that were already there. But from a positive point of view, like it was the case with the last financial crisis, and maybe we can talk later about youth employment and the impact on youth employment, it can also be a wake-up call. In the sense that the last crisis, maybe it was a wake-up call, at least at European level, on the issues related to youth employment, and also the need phenomenon in young people not in employment, educational training. And this crisis might also be a wake-up call for wider issues like social protection of young people, or the mental health, for example. And also I would like to add that on the positive side, governments have reacted much faster this time. We have seen also that the indicators didn't reach the very the negative peaks, let's say, the very serious figures and levels we saw last time. If you look at the broad set of indicators, the impact was very, very substantial, but it still didn't reach the heights or the peaks of the previous financial crisis, the Great Recession. So that a bit in a nutshell.
A positive note on that.
Yeah, because we can see maybe more on the social aspect, not only on the employment aspect. We have seen that we have now some not only the job retention schemes, but also some income support, income top-up for young people. This is kind of non-contributory, so it's not dependent on your work history. This contributory support was not there. Non-contributory support was not there last time, and it was there now this time in many member states. So I think that's a positive note.
Absolutely. And actually focusing now on unemployment, which you mentioned before, we know also that they have been hit the most because usually young people are the ones that work in sectors such as hospitality, which has been highly hit by the pandemic. So can you tell us what happened in regards to the unemployment?
Well, youth unemployment increased quite a lot in Europe in general, and in many countries. In all member states, actually, there was an increase. Also, the need rates increased. This is somehow to be expected, since youth unemployment is much more sensitive to the business cycle, to the economic cycle. Again, here, the figures, if you look at the figures now, that they have started to improve. let's say at what levels those figures become stable. Let's see if we end up with higher structural unemployment than last time. But in a way, the fact that youth unemployment increased a lot, it only showed first that, as we know, that the youth unemployment is very sensitive to the business cycle, but also that it still remains a structural issue in many countries. So it went up from already high levels in some countries. So independently of the economic crisis this time, we have to work more maybe in the medium term, with a medium term or long term perspective, like as we were already doing. And we will see, because this has been a very particular economic shock linked to a worldwide pandemic. So also in the medium term, we have to see if the recovery is strong enough. But the figures are already improving. So in a way, that's a positive sign if you compare it to the previous crisis, which it really took much longer for the figures to improve.
And what do you think the EU should do to fight youth unemployment? And here we also talk about not just employment, but the quality of jobs. So what can we do to help young people find jobs where the conditions are high, good quality?
Well, it's kind of it's a difficult question to reply with a short answer, because quality of employment, it's very much dependent on a number of factors. Of course, not first and foremost maybe economic growth, but not only that, but how labor market institutions in a country, how they perform, how the legislation is applied, etc. But from a European point of view, we have a European acquis, so we have a number of, let's say, a number of directives and a number of regulations that are in place, and that's our contribution to the quality of employment from a more legal point of view. So we have the work-life balance directive, we have the transparent pay directive, we have the access to social protection recommendation. So we have a set of legal instruments that are in place. Of course, now this has to be translated in practice, and how this is applied and implemented at member state level. It's maybe the key to achieve some improvements in job quality, and not the only one, because it is very much dependent on other factors, as I mentioned. Then from the employment perspective, or from the perspective of active labor market policies, of course, they have to be well designed in the context of the youth guarantee. So our main policy framework at European level to fight youth unemployment and inactivity, we are transmitting this idea that the offers have to be of job quality. Of course, that's easy to say and more difficult to define, but in a way we can all maybe have an idea of what a good quality offer is, with good job training, adequate pay, also possibilities of professional development, the right guidance, mentoring, etc. So we all can agree on a set of factors or qualities that a job should have. But of course, this is also very much dependent on local labor markets and the different legislations and the different even traditions in terms of how the market is organized.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Cornide. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I think it is important to stress out and bring attention to the problems such as youth unemployment. And I think now more than ever, it's a time to bring attention and act in order to tackle this issue. So thank you for being here, and hopefully we can have another little chat soon. Thank you so much.
Sure, it has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.